What's up? What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to Elite Zone. We are a podcast that wants to help real estate agents become more visible, get more clients, more traffic, more deals, more commissions, more revenue, not trade all your time for money later on in life. And we've got the strategies here to do that. So I hope that you are all having a great day. And I know the holidays are upon us. So we're going to, talk a lot in the next, couple episodes about next year planning and prep and all that. But today, I'm really excited because we are talking today about the 30-day visibility plan. So we're going to be talking about how to rank on Google and AI search without having to use paid ads. Okay. So let's go ahead and just get right on into it. Now, this is no longer how to rank on Google, okay, for businesses, but for real estate agents, you guys, you want to rank in a local market. The question to ask is not just how do I rank on Google? The question is now how to become the source Google and AI both trust, okay, when buyers and sellers ask questions. All right. Now, that distinction matters because like I said, the ranking game has changed. The SEO game has changed. Not that Google isn't important, but when we talk about ranking, most agents are still thinking, hey, Google search results. But the shift that's happening right now is buyers and sellers aren't just searching on Google anymore, right? They're searching on, they're asking ChatGPT, Google's AI overviews. They're asking Siri. They're searching on Gemini, the voice search in their cars, Alexa, all that stuff, right? And AI doesn't rank websites the same way that Google used to. So, what they're doing now is they're pulling answers from the trusted entities, not just the optimized pages. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, this 30-day plan that we're kind of mapping out for you is about ranking in two places at the same time. Okay, so you want to rank for those traditional Google, local search results. That's important, right? But also, you want to rank in the AI powered answers because buyers and sellers are now relying on those. And what's the good news here, guys? Well, the good news is that the foundation for both is the same if you do it correctly, which is what we're here talking about today. All right. Now, let's talk about some quick education. How does AI decide what real estate agent to show when somebody in your market searches real estate agent near me, homes for sale in X, Y, and Z neighborhood or area? Well, what it cares about the most is it cares about consistent business data, entity clarity, authority signals, and real world proof. So again, consistent business data, entity clarity, authority signals, and real world proof. Okay. So in other words, AI trusts what Google trusts, but only when the data is clean and aligned. Okay. That's why this plan that we're going to lay out for you is going to work for both Google and for AI optimization for search. Now, your Google business profile is your AI entity source, okay? So it's not just a map listing anymore. This is the primary data source that AI is going to use to understand who you are, where you operate, and what you specialize in, okay? So when AI answers questions like, let's say, who are the best real estate agents near me, or who sells homes in Orlando, Florida, right? It's going to pull from Google business profile data, not your Instagram bio. All right. Now, the key tie-in here is that the correct categories that equals your AI relevance. Accurate service areas equals your geographic confidence, and fresh activity, meaning are you consistently posting blog posts to your website? Are all of your name, address, is all of your info consistent across all of your online listings? Are you on all of the online listings you can be? All of that stuff, that's trust signals saying this agent is active, they're updating, they're posting, they're keeping their business modern and updated, and they're continually adding value for buyers and sellers who are searching. So basically, if your Google business profile is weak, and you're not listed on everywhere you should be, then AI is just not going to surface you. Okay. So that's why this is super important stuff. You don't want to overlook this. All right. Now, let's talk about directories. So this is kind of like your AI confidence check. What AI does is it's going to cross reference your business across the whole entire internet, right? Because they can do that now. So if your name, your phone number, your address, or your website has differing information or conflicting information across platforms, AI sees uncertainty. That's what it signals. Okay. And AI does not recommend uncertain businesses. It only recommends trusted businesses. So why does this matter? Well, AI models validate entities by matching citations. Okay, so if you have clean data, that means you're signaling higher confidence and higher inclusion in AI answers. Okay, simply put, inconsistent directories in 2025, 2026 don't just hurt SEO. Okay, they're going to break trust. AI is not going to trust you. All right, and that's the name of the game. It's trust. Okay. So basically, mapping this out for 30 days, week one, handle your Google business profile. All right. That's your AI entity source. So get in there, update it, make sure that that's crystal clear. Make sure that you have a plan to add consistent content pictures to Google business, your new listings, value, images of you behind the scenes, images of you out in the neighborhood, things like this. You want to keep it updated. All right. So that's what you're going to focus on for week number one. And then when you get that tackled, then in your second week, that's when you're going to update all the directories. Okay. Now, when I mean by updating all the directories is you're everywhere online that you're not. Neighborhood, what is it? Nextdoor, Yext, Yelp, Google, Bing, any sort of local, online business listings in local areas, or national or global websites that offer segmented listings for businesses. You want to be there. Now there's, several hundred of these that, you can make sure that you're listed on. That's going to give you more credibility, more authority, and basically beef up your brand and your business. But the trick is that you have to keep them all current and consistent and updated. Okay. Now, one of the tools at Agent Elite that we use to do this is called our local presence service. And essentially, this allows you to instantly get your accurate business info registered on 200 plus online business directories in an instant. Okay. And then it will automatically keep them updated and keep them fresh. Okay. So again, this is super, super important to do. So if you're, you want to get this done, and you don't want to take the time to search all of the online business listings where you need to be, go into each one of your accounts, update everything manually. It takes time to do that, right? Not to mention updating it with new content. It takes a lot of time. So, go ahead and check out agentelite.com. Up top, there's something that says platform. It's in the top menu. You hit that drop down and then local presence. You'll be able to find it right there. I'll also make sure I drop it in the link. So check the descriptions on YouTube and for wherever you're listening to this podcast. And we'll get the local presence link in there for you to check out. Okay. All right. Now, so we've covered week one and week two. What about week three? So for week three, we're going to focus on your reviews. Okay. Reviews are AI proof. They're not just stars. It's, not just pretty. It's not just like, yay, I did a good job. They're not just for consumers anymore, or buyers and sellers, I might say. Okay. So AI reads reviews to understand what you actually do, who you help, and also, where you operate. All right. So super, super important. When reviews mention neighborhoods, cities, transaction types, AI connects you to those searches. So this is how agents are showing up in AI without ever writing any blog posts or anything else like that. Okay. So now that isn't to say that you should not be writing blog posts, because you absolutely should. We've talked about the fact that the whole digital ecosystem is taken into account. Okay, but your reviews, it's a very, very important part of this. All right. So week 3, what are you going to want to do? How do you get those reviews? Well, who's closed with you in the past 30, 60, 90 days, that you can ask for a review. You can, I mean, I would suggest building this into your sales process. For example, when you're having your closing, or several times through the transaction, you can say, hey, Mr. Buyer or seller, when this is done, just reminding you, I'm going to ask you for a review. I'd love a 5-star review, and ask them, and then remind them again. And then at the end of the transaction, if you're having your little celebration, then you can say, all right, hey, cheers, drink a little champagne, do whatever you want to do. Maybe a housewarming party. I know a real estate agent that throws housewarming parties for all of her buyers, and she invites the sellers and everybody. Then you ask them right there, hey, I know I mentioned that I was going to ask you for a review. Now's the time to do that. You make it super simple for them, so you can have your link ready and just text it to them, or say, look, I really appreciate you take 30 seconds, fill this out. Here's what the information I'd love for you to share is, what was your experience like? How did I do? Scale of 1 to 10 or whatever. And then, just some high level insights on how you made them feel and how happy they are, something like that. Right. But when reviews come in, and they come in consistently, and there's a track record of reviews, and then there's new reviews being added, that's a huge signal to AI that you are a premier agent, and you're doing business, and you're helping people, and you do a good job. So that is what to focus on week 3. Who can I ask for a review? How do I make it easy for them to do? What do I want them to say in the review? Is there a way that I can influence that? So, they're mentioning the local neighborhood, where they bought or where they sold, or, what sort of keywords or key information that is going to signal more trust to AI. And then you can even, once they, you could even ask them to just give you some bullet points, just, hey, can you email over me a couple bullet points on how the experience was? Then you write the review, you add the keywords, and then send it back to them and say, hey, is this okay? Like, this is what I'd like you to post. Is this fair? Does this work? You're not doing anything shifty or shady. And I guarantee you they'll just accept it. They'll say, yeah, for sure. I'll post that. And then, you just ask them, okay, great. Here, just copy paste this. It's easy. Pop it into this link. All right. So focus on your reviews. That's week 3. Now, week 4, we're going to talk a little bit about some social signals. All right. We've been talking about AI, and it looks for the signs that your brand is active and real, right? So social platforms, they act like reputation validators. All right. That's what you're really doing here. So you don't need viral content. You don't need to have the newest trend. You don't need to dance if you don't want to dance. If you do want to dance, great, go dance. It can't hurt. But what you need is consistency, consistent activity. You need location relevance, and you need real engagement, right? So that's the name of the game on social, is especially for real estate agents. You want engagement. You want to be associated with whatever location you are helping buyers and sellers in, and you want to stay consistent over time. All right. An inactive brand looks risky to Google and AI. If we were to think about it in the sense of a brick and mortar storefront, if you're walking by a store and you go look at the hours, and they're only open, 2 or 3 hours a day, every other day. And then, during their business hours, you go and they're closed every now and again. And it's not clear what they do or who they are. There's no signs on the outside of the store. It's not, that's what you're doing if you're not optimized and you're not consistent with your brand online. Okay. So it's like, having a brick and mortar shop that you barely keep open. You don't have any lights on, the door's locked half the time, even though it says you're open. It's inconsistencies, right? So you want to stay consistent. All right. Now, What that means is creating a content plan for, let's say Q1. We're coming up on 2026 in just a couple weeks here. So location based content, which we've talked about all the time. You've got neighborhood pages on your website. You can create blog posts about the areas that you serve: restaurants, coffee shops, gyms, schools, prices, any new interesting things going on in the market. Make sure you ask yourself, who lives here now? Where are they moving to? Who wants to live here? How old are they? All of this kind of stuff is really important, because as a real estate agent, you need to be the neighborhood expert. You're not just somebody that helps somebody buy or sell a home. You are the neighborhood expert. You need to know about everything in the neighborhood: when the trash pickup is, right? When the mail gets delivered. Like, you got to know this stuff, okay? Because that's what people are looking for. And the average consumer knows about 12 real estate agents, and most of them have them in their family, right? But the thing is, and we've talked about this before on the show, is that the referral is starting to lose traction. Which isn't to say that they're not still powerful. Of course, they're still powerful. But the average buyer or seller now wants the agent that is the most trusted. And everybody's walking around with their cell phones. So it's very easy to pull out your cell phone and just Google somebody and, have a look at their social media, their website. And if things look inconsistent, then that's going to signal distrust. And if you're not optimized online, I mean, they might not like what they find, right? They're like, oh, well, this person has no reviews. He's telling me he's a great agent. He's got no reviews. And, he's got 3 reviews. 2 of them are okay, but one of them was bad and he didn't respond to it, or she didn't respond to it. And the last time they posted was on Facebook, and it's just a crappy graphic from, 2021. It's not the look that you want if you want to make money in real estate. Okay. So that's what you need to do. Figure out what your content plan is. We've got all kinds of resources for what content to create, how to create content, the power of neighborhood blogs, neighborhood videos, highlights, market information, selfie style videos, behind the scene pictures, business features, local business features. There's just an infinite amount of creative ways that you as a real estate agent can build trust and show that you are the local expert. All right. So basically, all of this stuff compounds and it all connects, and it's all part of your digital ecosystem, your local presence system. And when all of these 4 pieces align, something very powerful happens. It means that Google now understands you, right? Who you are, what you do precisely, and AI trusts you. And then when buyers and sellers start finding you, they're not finding you by clicking your ads. They're finding you because you are the trusted agent organically. It's not SEO tricks or tactics or anything like that. It's about becoming the default local authority in both human and machine driven search. Okay. Now, like I said before, we do have a tool at Agent Elite, Local Presence. And, the honest truth here is that managing visibility across Google, other directories, your reviews, your social media, making sure you're sending those AI trust signals. It's not realistic for most people, let alone real estate agents who are super, super busy, to do manually. This is a lot of work, guys. It's a lot of work. Okay. That's why we did create Local Presence. It's not an SEO tool. It's basically an entity management system that keeps your data aligned, right? And we talked about entity clarity, right? And it does that so Google ranks you, so AI will reference you, and so buyers and sellers trust you without you having to babysit it every single week. Okay. Now, if we look ahead over the next 5 years, the agents who win, they're not going to be the ones that are spending a ton of money on ads. They're not going to be the ones that are saying, hey, we're white glove. We don't use AI. We're all referral based. They're not going to be the agents that are using tricks, gimmicks, the flashiest, AI videos and things like that. The agents that win over the next 5 years are going to be the ones who became search proof, and visible everywhere. Okay. People are asking questions online. Buyers are asking questions. Sellers are asking questions. People that are asking questions that may not even be considering buying or selling a home, but they know in the next 5 to 10 years they want to. So they need to get information about it. People might not even know that they're going to sell their home. They're just, hey, they might say to themselves, hey, I'm a young person. I'm thinking about maybe moving sometime. There's 4 different, opportunities I have to work with different companies, and I might want to sell where I'm at and buy here or buy there or buy here or buy there. And they're way down from actually making the decision, but they start researching. They start looking at that stuff way early on. Like this isn't searching to find a new pair of sneakers to buy. This is searching for a home. This is huge, guys. Huge, right? So you want to be trusted because a buyer or seller is trusting you with the most important, emotional, labor intensive transaction of a lifetime. Okay. So that's the big thing. The agents who win are going to become search proof, visible everywhere. Buyers and sellers ask questions on Google, AI, voice search, and that starts with fixing the foundation. All right. So that's what you need to do. You fix your foundation. I want you guys to head over to agentelite.com. We've got lots of resources, great articles. Every time we do one of these podcasts, we release resources and blog posts that back it up. So, you don't have to listen to this or grab the transcript or do anything like that. We're going to lay out the information for you. And I want to make sure that you download the Visible Agent Guide. Okay. This basically is your long-term, data proven, rock solid, rock star, visible outline, your plan to become the visible agent, the local authority, the consistent, trusted authority on Google, on AI. So go to agentelite.com, check that out. Check out our IDX websites. We talk about the fact that consumers want a streamlined, quick, fast user experience, right? Something that adds value right away. So they want that fast connection, and our IDX provides that, right? That's why Zillow is so popular, because they go there, they search, boom, 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 here you go. We've got IDX websites with AI Assist that have behavioral tracking that help you learn about the people that are visiting your site. You collect that data, then you can leverage that for your marketing and your outreach, your text, your emails, et cetera, et cetera. We've got a great design studio, it's called. It's a great tool that will allow you to quickly create automatically branded with AI flyers, social posts, mailers, all kinds of different marketing materials. And you can, use our AI assist to pull in listing information, all of that. So definitely check that out. And then the Max mobile app, guys, you're on the go. I get that. You're on the go. You need quick, you need fast. You got to be on the ball because you're out there in the field. So the Max mobile app helps you streamline and use tools from your phone. And it's just some really cool stuff there. So look, we're creating this stuff. We're taking it to the next level because we understand how difficult it is to be a real estate agent today. We know that there is a lot of competition out there. We know that the algorithms change, marketing changes, how you're ranked changes, right? So that's why we're providing you with all of this info. That's why we do this podcast. So my challenge for you is to take this outline that I've laid out for you, your 4 weeks, and go get after that. Okay. So you become the local authority in real estate in your area. Okay. So get on that. I want you guys to have a great weekend and, go out there and do your thing, chicken wing. All right. We'll see you guys next week on Elite Zone, and I appreciate you. Have a great day, everybody.